Hello, and welcome to the Social Security Show. I'm your host, Daniel Summers, but I'm not the only host you have. I'm a public affairs specialist in the Chicagoland and Indiana areas with the Social Security Administration, and we have a great show for you today. But first, it would be rude of me not to mention my co-host because we share hosting duties around here. So Josephine, if you don't mind, please tell them who you are.
Thank you, Daniel Summer. I am so excited to be here with you all today, Chicagoland. We have a great show in store for you. And as you mentioned, Mr. Daniel Summer, my name is Josephine Mueller, and I am a public affairs specialist in the Chicagoland area. And yes, we go out to the community, we inform the community, and we let you know about all of the programs that Social Security has to offer. And we are eager to give that information to you today. Mr. Daniel Summer and I, we started off as claims specialists in the field office. So we were the faces that you would see when you would walk in. We would be the individuals that would take your retirement claims, your disability claims, your Medicare claims, any applications that you would complete with Social Security Administration. We would be those friendly faces that you would see, and we would assist you in completing those applications, along with providing you any information that you have on inquiries. And we would also do applications for replacement Social Security cards. So we're very familiar with the different procedures that go on in the field office and several of the requests that the public requests on a day-to-day basis. And we are here to have a great show with you. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it back to you, Mr. Daniel Summer.
Thank you, Josephine. And you see why we're the friendly faces, and we've got the answers. If Social Security does it between the two of us, whether it's SSI, retirement, Social Security cards, we've done it. So we are always happy to hear from you, always happy to answer your questions. And I think before we begin our frequently asked questions, there's a favorite commercial that I really, really like, Josephine, and I think you know what it is. I'd love for us to watch that commercial now. So if you've got that on your screens, everybody, here's that treat.
I do, and this is our We Are There video, and it's a great illustration of how we are there with you throughout life's journey. And I'm going to go ahead and hit play right now so that our audience can view this wonderful We Are There video.
We are there, day one, with baby names and a gift that lasts a lifetime. We are there as you grow, protecting you and those you love. We are there when you get your first job, helping you to save for the future. We are there when you marry your sweetheart to help secure your new life together. We are there if the unexpected happens to help you see life from a new perspective. We are there when you start your next chapter to make sure you get off to a great start. And we are there when you lose your soulmate to help make sure you will be all right. We are with you through life's journey. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. Get to know us and see what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
We are there as always. Social Security letting you know that we're not just retirement. From the beginning to the end, Social Security is with you. And I'd like for us to today talk about representative payees. And this show is going to tell you quite a bit about what's a subject that many people have a hard time understanding, yet it's so important. Representative payees serve a great function for more than 8 million people in the United States who need to have someone to assist them. We're going to go into details about that, but first, we disclaim before we begin. Josephine, if you don't mind.
Yes, definitely. So here is our disclaimer. Participation in this presentation does not constitute an endorsement by the Social Security Administration or its employees of the organizations and information and products not provided by Social Security Administration. But we are going to go ahead and go to the next slide, because this next slide is going to go ahead and show us, that we are going into our FAQs today, our frequently asked questions, and we're going to talk about the topic that you mentioned, representative payees. And this is just, showing you how Social Security is with you throughout life's journey. And I know that little video was a great illustration of that. And, our show today is focused on representative payees, but our Social Security benefits and programs encompass several different topics. And we'll have several different topics for you in store for you throughout the next CAN TV shows that we have with you every Friday.
Great. Thank you for that, Josephine. I know you can't wait to get started, just like I can't wait to get started. But lucky you, I drew the short straw and you get the first question. So I am going to read this question that, I've seen this before. Oh my. Here goes. So if you're ready and your thinking cap's on, Josephine, here goes something that comes in all the time and that has come into me as dear Mr. Social Security. So I was just approved for disability and SSI. I was told by Social Security that I need a representative payee. What is a representative payee? And why do I have to have one? Oh my, can you count the amount of times you've been asked that, Josephine?
Yes, we have that question comes up all the time. And for an individual who is asking this question, we would let a person know, well, representative payee is someone who is going to assist you and help you with your Social Security benefit and using it towards your basic needs, such as food, shelter, and clothing. And a representative payee is elected when an individual is in need of additional assistance in using their Social Security benefit. And most of the time, well, all the time, Social Security wants to pay the beneficiary, the individual who the money pertains to or the Social Security benefit pertains to. However, in some cases where Social Security sees that there is a need or that individual needs assistance in using their Social Security benefit, in that case, we recommend that the individual has a representative payee. And a representative payee can be a family member, a friend, someone who cares about the person and has the best interest for the person, in mind. So that is what a representative payee does do. And, you would have to have one if there is a need, if we see that you need assistance, and it's to help you.
I see. That's absolutely a great answer, Josephine. I know that millions of people depend on a representative payee. So great answer. Really appreciate that clarification about a representative payee and why that person might need one.
Absolutely. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next slide. And I'm going to ask you this question, Mr. Summer. Who can be a payee and what are the actual duties of a representative payee on a day-to-day basis?
Very good question to follow up the first one. Well, first, a representative payee, who can be one? You could be a parent, you could be a friend, you could be a relative, you could be a neighbor. Some organizations are payees. There are all manner of people from all walks of life with different kinds of relationships that serve as representative payees. And like you said, it's someone who is actually interested in the best interests of that individual. Because let's face it, the duty of a representative payee is to accept Social Security benefits on behalf of someone who, for some reason, could be related to their condition, could be not related to their condition. They could just be underage, so they can't get their own payment, and utilize those benefits in the best interests. So their main duty on a day-to-day basis is to ensure that these people who have to be not capable of managing their own bases, they determine what are the needs of that person, how to best utilize the money, make decisions on behalf of the payee that reflects their best interests, and report changes if that person moves, gets married, gets divorced, goes to jail, hopefully not, is hospitalized in many cases. We want to know all those things to ensure that we're paying the person properly. And it becomes the responsibility of the payee to do all those things on a day-to-day basis, as well as keep records of how the money was spent. Social Security doesn't micromanage people, but we do give representative payees the latitude to make decisions on behalf of the person who's receiving the benefit. As long as it's in their best interest, we trust you. And that's why we go through a process in which we weed out people who might or might not be suitable payees. So on a day-to-day basis, the long and the short of it is, Social Security wants you to manage their benefits with their best interests in mind, even on days when they don't like it. So Josephine, is there anything you'd like to add to that?
No, I think you did a great job in explaining who can be a payee and what their duties are. And I think, once we move into the next question, I want to show the audience some representative payee resources on our website. But I want to move on to the next question before we go into those resources for everyone.
Oh, and this one's for you, Josephine. This sounds interesting. Josephine, is it true that once you have a representative payee, you will always have one?
That's a question that we do receive a lot, and people are curious, once I have a representative payee, does that mean that I always have to have one? And the answer to that is no. If you request to have an interview, and you can contact us, and we want to let you know, Social Security is still open. We are still here for you. You can contact us by calling us via phone, or you can visit us online. But the important message that we do want to get out here today is that Social Security is still available. Our field offices are limited to in-office appointments only that are dire need. However, all of our field office employees are still working. We're just working differently. We're working remotely, and we're still available to answer your questions. If you need an appointment for anything, you can set that appointment up via phone. But to answer this question, no, you don't always have to have one. If you go ahead and you make an appointment with us and we do an interview with you and we see that you are now capable of handling your own Social Security benefits towards your basic needs, such as the food, shelter, and clothing, then you can be made your own payee, and you can handle your own money as long as we're able to see that that's something that you can do going forward. Do you have anything to add to that, Mr. Summer?
Just a little bit. The whole thing about payees is we only give representative payees to individuals who are incapable of the management of their own benefits for whatever reason. Now, sometimes children grow up and they become capable and they become of age. Sometimes people have a condition that's severe, but as they get better, they become more able to handle. And some people learn about the management, sometimes with a great deal of help from that representative payee. So just bear in mind that it's not a life sentence, it's not a death sentence. If you have a representative payee, it only reflects that for the time being, you may not be in a position to better manage your own benefits. And that's all it means. It's not a tough shot at you or saying that you're not good. It means that we want you to be well taken care of, and Social Security will contribute to that after you've contributed to us. And we want to ensure that your lights aren't going out for some reason because maybe you're not capable of timely paying the bills and all of those things. And your payee, normally a person close to you, because there is a hierarchy with parents and close relatives at the top, and as we move down. So it's going to be someone who has your best interests in mind. Great question and fantastic answer, Josephine. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for covering that, because it's true, once an individual turns 18, they can be their own payee. So there's different situations for different individuals, different things that happen, with our life situation when we're receiving Social Security benefits. So it's important to note. But I have here on our screen, I have the Social Security website. Are you able to see the website, Mr. Summer?
I sure can. It's clear as day.
Great. So, I wanted to show our audience our website, because this right here is a great resource. Our entire website has an abundance of information in regards to our Social Security programs and benefits. It's very user-friendly, our website, and it's, everything is written in plain language. So there isn't anything here that, with information that, is got a lot of jargon or, acronyms. Everything's very, very easy to read. It's an easy read. And I want to go down to where we have our publications. And here is, our publications. There's a little box here, and along with several other little boxes, depending on what you're looking for, you can click on, whatever box and topic. But right here, we're going to talk about our publications. So I'm going to click here on publications. And in the search engine, I'm going to go ahead and type representative payee. So here we go. I didn't even type the whole word, but as soon as I started to type it in, several things came up in regards to representation. So right here, we have a publication in regards to your right to representation. We have a publication, a guide for representative payees. And here's a good one for someone who does have a representative payee. When a representative payee manages your money. So this talks about how this affects you when somebody is managing your money and your rights in, your responsibilities, as well as their responsibilities to assist you. So
very good.
There's several publications.
Very good. And Josephine, I must say, of all those pamphlets, I've read over and over a guide for representative payees. And even though it's written in plain language, because we know we don't expect people to be Social Security scholars, but it is written in plain language and it is so comprehensive. I always would slide that pamphlet. I'd run all the way back to the forms room in my office and hand that over to anyone who's becoming a representative payee. And if for some reason the person they were becoming a payee for was there, I'd also hand them that when a representative payee manages your money. But I've got to say, if I've got to pick one, a guide for representative payees is a godsend to anyone managing benefits for anyone else. Great. Thank you for showing us that. Our website is so useful and people have it at their fingertips. So you don't have to go back to that forms room, folks. You can actually have the same thing online 24 hours a day.
Yes, and the great thing about this is that, maybe you don't have the time, we're all busy, we all are working, we've got our lives that we're doing, we're just going through life and we're trying to keep up with everything. And sometimes it's a juggle. If you don't have the time to read the publication, it's okay, because guess what? We have audio publications, which is a really nice feature because you can click on the audio and then just listen to the publication. So if you're driving to work or you're driving to pick up your children from daycare or whatever your busy schedule looks like, you can listen to these publications via audio on your, drive, or if you're at home and you're, doing different things around the house, you have the ability to listen to us audio, and it's a great additional resource. It makes things very convenient.
Plug us in. We are there with you throughout life's journey. Great information, Josephine. I really appreciate that, and thanks. But it looks like we're going to go on to the next question.
So this one right here, I'm going to ask you, Mr. Summer. And my father is in a nursing home. I have been taking care of his affairs for 10 years. He is coming to live with me, and I'm his power of attorney. I went to the Social Security office to change his address. They wouldn't do it. I brought both my birth certificate and the power of attorney papers that he signed. If I can show I am his, daughter or son and his power of attorney, why won't they change this for him?
And you know what? Sounds like a good son, right? Who's taking care of his dad's affairs for 10 years, doing the right thing here. Obviously, he's in a nursing home and he's coming to live here with him. Probably a guy who's not a terrible person, right? So why won't Social Security help me do the right thing? It's not because Social Security wants to make this any more difficult than it must be. The fact is, this has to do with the security part of Social Security. We have to be very, very cautious. We have a lot of important information people depend upon Social Security benefits to live, to pay their bills for food, shelter, and clothing. And also, we have a lot of respect for a person's privacy. You all know how much ID theft is a problem in this country. So even though someone may mean well, we have certain standards and protocol that we have to adhere to. One of them being this: a power of attorney often helps people in situations with medical crises and so on. And that person helps their parent, in this case, or whomever. However, power of attorney is a state designation. And as a federal agency, sometimes we need just a bit more. And here's the situation: we believe you're his son. And we also believe that you just may be his power of attorney. But what if you were a person who was a little unscrupulous and you wanted to change the address to get the benefits or change the direct deposit, and you didn't have that person's best interest in mind? That's precisely why we look at representative payees as being a solution, because we close our mouths, we mute when it comes to giving anybody your Social Security number, your Social Security payment or check information, because we know how important and how dangerous that can be if it falls into the wrong hands. So guess what? We don't just change addresses, even if we believe you are his son and his power of attorney. In most instances, when we have someone like this, Josephine, they're in a nursing home, the son is taking care of their affairs, and now he's going to actually be living in the same household. Why, even when he was in the nursing home, we would suggest, if this person's not capable of the management of their own affairs, which should be the case if he's becoming his power of attorney, then we want that person to come and apply to be the representative payee for his father. Here's the reason: we want that person to get their benefits directly if possible. But if someone else is actually handling the business, wouldn't it be so much easier if we could talk to the son as if he were the father? And the only way we're going to be able to do that and make changes and updates and give information is if that person represents you and they're your payee, and they will take care of things in your best interest. But until you've gone through the background check and answered the question so that we know that you're a good, upright, fit, standing, and the best person to know about that person's needs, which this person seems they might be, we don't want to make changes, because we hold payees accountable when they misuse things and misappropriate things. And so we want to make sure that everyone understands their role. Josephine, is there anything else you can explain? Because again, we didn't change that for a reason. And the reason is you're not quite the proper person at this point. Though by filing to be a payee, you could be. Josephine?
Absolutely. And I think it's so important to note, and I know you emphasize this, the power of attorney. You know, many people do think that the power of attorney is something that Social Security recognizes, but we don't recognize power of attorney at Social Security. For Social Security to recognize you as someone that assists an individual, you have to be what's called a representative payee. And, you know, in order to do that, as you mentioned, you have to apply for that. We have to go through an interview process and ensure that you are someone who does have the individual's best interests at heart. So it's so important to note that and keep that in mind, that here at Social Security, we do not recognize power of attorney. I can't tell you how many times, Mr. Summer, that, you know, someone would come into our Social Security offices and ask me, you know, do you recognize power of attorney, or give me a situation or scenario that they are power of attorney and they want to do something to assist, you know, their family member, their friend, their loved one. And, you know, we can't do it at that moment in time right away because they don't have the proper, you know, status on our records. They have to be a representative payee in order for us to recognize them. So I'm so glad that you went over this and you talked about this, because it's so important for people to understand that here at Social Security, we don't recognize power of attorney, but we do recognize a representative payee because we go through the application interview process in order for you to become a representative payee.
Power of attorney is very, very useful in some circumstances, especially medical and handling other types of business. But again, the power of attorney is a very, very specific thing. A representative payee, like a legal guardian, is a very specific thing with the courts. And if you're going far enough to be the power of attorney or the legal guardian, take that extra step so that in the event that there's a crisis, you're the right person and you have all the authority to act on behalf of and in the best interests of your loved one. Great, great. Thank you very much, Josephine. But I've got something to ask you. And here's a simple one. It seems simple sometimes, doesn't it? How old, that should be, do I have to be my own payee? That's what the question should read.
Yes. Well, how old do I have to be to be in order to be my own representative payee? Well, normally an individual has to be at least 18 years of age in order to be their own representative payee. However, in some special certain situations or circumstances, an individual may be a payee earlier than age 18 if they are deemed their own legal guardian throughout the courts. But it just all depends on, the different situations. But normally an individual has to be 18 or older in order to be their own payee. Do you have anything to add to that, Mr. Summer?
You're spot on accurate with that, Josephine. We have some different situations, less common, where you've got an emancipated minor, or there are certain circumstances that deem, and we look at those on a case-by-case basis. However, that's absolutely right. That's spot on. We think that adults, and adults are age 18 and over, are usually the proper person to receive their own benefits unless for some reason they are incapable. And that's where we began, right? Talking about whether or not you can manage your own benefits. So great answer, Josephine. Straight to the point. 18 is the answer for overwhelmingly for that in almost every case. Yeah. Great. Thank you very much.
So, Mr. Summer, I know we talked a lot about, the applications when somebody would like to be a representative payee, they need to apply to be someone's representative payee. But right now during COVID-19, people might be wondering, well, how do I contact my local Social Security field office? So what I want to do is I want to show everybody how to get in touch with their Social Security field office. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here, and I'm going to go back to our main page. And, right here at the very, very top, you're going to see like a mustard orange COVID-19 updates tab. So right at the top, you can go ahead and click here. And once you click there, you see there's like a table of contents right here to the left, to my left here. And you can click on Getting Help from Social Security. Once you click there, you'll be able to see different things that you can get help with from Social Security. And you're also going to see this little link right here where it says call your local Social Security office. Another way to get here is you could just type in field office locator, but I like to show everybody how to get to the COVID-19 updates page because this is where all of our new information is being posted. So anything new in regards to the offices, any new policies, any new programs, any updates with the status of our field offices, it's going to be posted here on the COVID-19 updates page. So right here, if you click call your local Social Security office, once you click there, it's going to show your Social Security office locator. And you can go ahead and enter in your zip code wherever you are in the nation, wherever you're at, whatever state you're in, you can type in your zip code. And once you type in your zip code, you're actually going to be able to find your local Social Security office. I know I'm based here in Illinois, but Mr. Daniel Summer, you're based out in Indiana. So we're in different states, but we're here together on CAN TV presenting in regards to Social Security benefits and programs. And can you give me a zip code out there in Indiana so that way we can show our audience how, this tool works?
Let me see if I can think of one. Now, oh yeah, there's an office that I like because the manager of that office is outstanding. So why don't I just go ahead and use one of the zip codes in their area? How about 46408?
Here we go, 46408. And as I type that in and I hit locate, here you go. You're able to see the local address. So we've got the Gary, Indiana Social Security office, and you're able to see their address. You're also able to see their office direct line. So if you reside in this area, you're able to use this phone number to contact your local office. In addition to the phone number, you're also able to see the fax number. So if you need to fax over documents, you're able to fax those documents over using this fax number, or even if you have to mail in documents, here you go, you have the address, you can mail in those documents. So it's a nice way to find your local office and speak to a representative that you would normally speak to if you were to walk into an office. So you can make appointments using this tool. You can go ahead and call just to ask questions. I'm going to go ahead and let me see, 60661. I'm going to use a Chicago right here, a Chicago zip code. So we went from Indiana, now we're coming to Chicago. Here we go. So 60661 is this other zip code that I typed in. And here you go. You've got the address to a Chicago office. And this is the one that's 605 West Washington. And you have their office direct line and you have the fax number. So if you need to mail anything in or if you need to call and ask questions of your local office, this is how you do it. So today we showed you an office in Indiana and an office in Chicago, but this can be used for any state that you're in or any location and area that you're in. So it's a really nice tool to be familiar with, because if you need to apply for benefits, whether it's a representative payee application, disability application, retirement, SSI, or Medicare application, this is how you do it. Contact your local office and set up an appointment so that way you could apply for benefits.
So quick and easy, Josephine. I just can't believe how lightning fast. It just pulls up the office and all the phone numbers you need. I could never go online and look up something as fast as that. Just tells me the address, the phone numbers, everything. So what a powerful, easy to use tool right here at our fingertips. So if you need to use that to find the office in your area that's going to service you, I highly recommend that field office locator is a godsend. Thanks so much. All right, onward.
Here we go. So we're here on to our next slide. And, this one right here, I'm going to ask you, Mr. Summer. I am a representative payee for my 30-year-old son. I give my son his own money when it comes in from Social Security each month. A friend of mine told me that that's not legal. Is it? Is that okay for me to do?
Oh, wow. Well, while we might not take you to jail as it being illegal, it's pretty unwise. Because remember, Josephine, what we discussed earlier was the whole purpose of having a representative payee is for an individual who is incapable of the management of his own benefits to have someone there to protect his interests. Now, the idea that if you have a payee, then we've deemed that person not capable for one reason or another or more reasons of managing their own money. So we wouldn't just hand the money over directly to them. Well, if you're doing the same thing after we give the money and entrust it to you, then what's the point in having a payee? We really have a rationale when we do those things, and we do observations. We look at their diagnosis if this is a disability claim, or if it's a retirement person, maybe they're no longer able to do things that they once could handle and manage easily. And so we look not only at the person, we talk to the person, we ask and find out Well, does this person even know what their bills are and when they're paid and how much they are? We might even consult a physician. We have that doctor that they have. So we don't just arbitrarily say we're going to give you a payee for no reason at all, because in every instance we try to pay the person directly. If we can, we absolutely do. There has to be a reason why we do not, because we at Social Security want to place as few people between a person and their benefits as we can. We always want that to be nobody. In the best of circumstances, we want to pay you directly. But when we can't do that, we have that payee entrusted, and there's always a reason. And if you think that that person no longer needs a payee, then you and that person have a discussion and come to us. But here's the danger in doing this. Suppose that person's benefits aren't being managed right, and you've been handing them the money, the payments. You know who becomes responsible for the misuse and misappropriation or the loss of benefits? That's right, the payee. So it is a serious responsibility. And if you no longer want that responsibility, fine. But don't just abdicate it, because that puts a person not capable of managing their own benefits in charge of them. And that, Josephine, is a recipe for disaster. I know you've seen it. Anything you'd like to add to that? Josephine?
Yes, I actually want to, take our audience back to our website, because I'd like to show them some additional representative payee resources. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, because I was able to pull up some information here off of our website. So if you go to our website and you just type in representative payee in the search engine, this is what's going to come up, representative payee. And it talks about those things that you mentioned, Mr. Summers, such as reporting responsibilities and just responsibilities for being a representative payee. And right here, you have a guide for individual payees that talks about those responsibilities and lets you know, that you are responsible for that individual's benefit and making sure that those benefits go towards that individual's basic needs, such as food, shelter, and clothing, and it's being used appropriately. And, in addition to that, what we here have at Social Security is an accounting. Complete your pay accounting online form. So if you are a representative payee, you may have to complete this accounting form just to show how you are using that money towards the individual's basic needs, such as food, shelter, and clothing. Do you have anything to add to that, Mr. Summer?
We at Social Security know that we are asking you for quite a bit, and it might seem like being a representative payee is a thankless job. But remember, you're normally a close relative or friend of someone who needs your help. And by offering that, you ensure that someone less interested in their well-being, a little more unscrupulous, isn't taking advantage of someone who's not capable of managing their benefits. So we do make those accounting forms. Even though they're necessary evils, we make them as simple and infrequent as possible. It's just as necessary to ensure that the benefits are being used properly. You have a document about that to protect you, and the person is protected. That's all.
Absolutely. Yes, definitely. And, those accounting forms can also be completed online. And I have a nice little video here, Mr. Summer, that I'd like to show everybody. As you can see, I'm still on the website, our Social Security website. All I did was I typed in representative payee in our search engine. As you can see, several different resources come up in regards to representative payee. So I'm going to go ahead and click here where it talks about how to use the representative payee portal, which is a really nice video. So we're going to go ahead and show everyone this.
Great. Thank you.
Are you an individual appointed by the Social Security Administration to receive Social Security benefits or SSI payments for someone who can't manage or direct the management of their benefits? If you are and you have a My Social Security account, then conducting business for yourself and your beneficiaries just got quicker, easier, and more secure with the Representative Payee portal. Simply sign into your account by going to www.socialsecurity.gov/myaccount and the service options screen will automatically appear. Select My Social Security to conduct business for yourself, such as estimating your future benefits, requesting a replacement Social Security card in qualifying states and the District of Columbia, getting a benefit verification letter, changing your address if you get benefits, and more. Select Representative Payee Services to conduct business for your beneficiaries, including viewing current benefit details, updating or enrolling in direct deposit, reporting wages, or completing the annual accounting. To switch between conducting business for yourself and conducting business for your beneficiaries, simply go back to the Service Options screen by selecting the Other Services button at the top of the page. That's it. It has never been easier to manage the present. Create or sign into your My Social Security account and start using the Representative Payee portal today. If you don't have a My Social Security account, it's easy to create. If you need extra assistance in creating your account, please contact the My Social Security hotline at 1-800-772-1213 and say, Help Desk. See what else you can do online at socialsecurity.gov. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow.
Wow. Great video. And it makes it, again, clear how we are available and we are there with online services to meet every need, particularly during this pandemic when people can't go out to our offices. We are always available to answer questions. I can't count the amount of times, Josephine, that I have gone and someone said, I don't understand this payee accounting form. We will help you with it. We will go over it. We will answer your questions. And again, we make the forms as simple as possible, just so that you don't have difficulties filling them out. We don't send them back to you 10 times. We make them easy for a reason, because we know you're performing a service as a representative payee. Josephine?
Yes, most definitely. So just as that video shows you, it's very simple. Once you create the My Social Security account, you can toggle between your own account and your the individual that you're representative payee for, and you can assist them in that way. And it's very quick and very easy. But, you know, we only have a few minutes left here on today's show, and we do want to make sure we let you all know about scam awareness. So we want to let you know to please be aware of the scams that are out there. There are individuals that are calling people and stating that they are Social Security representatives, and they are not. They're aggressive, they're threatening, and you know, they say all kinds of things like they are suspending your Social Security number, and they say that they're going to come to your door and going to take legal action, or you're going to be in trouble. And these are all false claims. Please, if you get a call like that from a person that is posing as a Social Security representative and is threatening and aggressive to you on the phone, please just hang up. We would never threaten you. We would never be aggressive with you. We would never tell you that we're going to suspend your Social Security number. So please just hang up. Do you have anything to add to that, Mr. Summer?
Oh, Josephine, you and I have both gotten the calls. They're on the phone. They're in the mail. They are men. They are women of every stripe and nationality. They'll tell you that they're going to suspend your Social Security number. No such thing. They're going to arrest you. We're not the police. And they'll just do anything. It drives me crazy. They'll do anything to get people's Social Security numbers and their dates of birth. They'll tell them lies like, we'll stop your benefits, scaring people. Some of our baby boomers are older people. They'll tell them, we'll give you more money. They'll ask you for gift cards. They'll do anything, but protect your information. You don't have to answer calls. You don't have to answer questions by people who are just calling you, because out of the clear blue sky, we just don't pick up the phone and say, I'm going to call this person and ask their Social Security number, or I'm going to ask their bank account information, or I'm going to tell them. We just don't. We send you a letter when we're going to make serious changes, like if there's a cost of living increase, if your benefits are going to increase or decrease. We don't just pick up the phone and do those things. There are no robot voices at Social Security. We sound just like we sound here today, don't we, Josephine? You're talking to a live person. And if you get a robot or a recording, you know right away it's not us. Just hang up. Just hang up. Please. If it's someone impersonating Social Security, just hang up.
Yes, just hang up and write that phone number down, because you can actually report that phone number. If you look on our website here, this is ssa.gov. When you go to our website, make sure you put .gov at the back of our address, because .gov means that is us. If you go to a .com, it could be somebody else online impersonating us. So just make sure you go to .gov. But if you scroll down to our main page, on our main page, there's a box where it says Fraud Prevention and Reporting. Just go ahead and go here. You're able to see the different scams that are happening, information in regards to it, and you're also able to report the scam. So if you go to oig.gov, you click on their investigations page, you're able to file a report and place all those numbers that are calling you. So please help us with this and report these numbers that are calling you fraudulently. But it looks like our show is up. We had a great show today. We talked about representative payees. We talked about how to get in contact with Social Security. We talked about scams and how to make sure, what to look out for. And, we are excited about these continual shows that we have with you every Friday from 2 to 3. And please keep in mind, we're also on YouTube. So we know this video is going to be on YouTube, but our information can change from time to time. So if you're watching this video a year from now, 2 years from now, please make sure that you are getting current information, and double check our website at socialsecurity.gov to make sure that everything that you are watching is current and up to date, because right now this video is current as of January 22nd, 2021. And we look forward to seeing you next Friday. Anything to add to end the show today, Mr. Summer?
No, not at all. That says it all. Thanks everyone for your attention, and be aware. Watch out for our shows every week, because we've got new topics and new information for every time you tune in to see us. So have a great, great day.
Thank you, everyone. Take care. Stay safe.